find me a punch that looked like it hurt more than Naruto punching the pupils out of Sasuke. And let me tell you, this was a pretty good suggestion. Luffy knocks this underwater Elvis impersonator right back into the manga. First off, for a brief second, Luffy becomes an entirely different person. He is so angry that he briefly became Sanji. Not only that, but this guy's glass helmet liquefies and then blows away from the force of this punch. I've been on the search for the most painful anime punch, and a lot of you have been suggesting this from Fire Force. Let me tell you something, this does not look like a painful punch. If your entire back gets blasted into the Shadow Realm, you're not gonna be feeling anything. The Naruto punch still reigns supreme because Sasuke looks like he aged about 13 years in the process of it. Look, you can just see Sasuke go, what? I've been on the search for the most painful punch in anime history, and a lot of you seem to think that the punch itself is the most important part of this list. And while the hit is important, usually it's the face of the victim that determines its spot on the list. Oh my god, look at this face. Gon just erased this man's fine motor skills. Not only does this dude not know what day it is anymore, this guy doesn't even understand the concept of a week. I would take my chances with Saitama any day of the week before I ever went up against this roided out park ranger. You guys want to talk about the time Toppo wore Frieza like a goddamn glove? Look at the shape of Frieza. Dude's spine got turned into a question mark. Toppo straight up gave the man scoliosis with this punch. His eye makes a full 90-degree rotation. Most painful punch in anime? No. Most painful punch in Dragon Ball? Also no. But I'll admit this belongs on the list. So I've been on the search for the most painful punch in anime history. Can you imagine getting hit so hard your rib cage kisses your spine? This isn't even anatomically correct, and yet I can still feel the pain of this punch. But we're not here for 17's punch. We're here for Piccolo's. If Piccolo's elbow is here, his fist should probably land somewhere around here. What's all this? Piccolo hit 17 so hard he made him elastic. On the search for the most painful hit in anime history. Now, some may argue that a live-action American-made film doesn't technically count as anime, but this slap from the 2017 Power Rangers movie belongs among the greats. This is the most crisp slap I've ever seen in my entire life. Jason puts his whole ass back into it. Look at the fucking wind-up on this. This is the slap of a man who has absolutely done this before. This is an experienced slapping technique. Jason is smacking bitches on the regular. On the search for the most painful hit in anime history, and let me tell you, this is an S-tier kick. I never want to experience a world in which my arm bends horizontally. And you know this shit hurt too, because Vegeta literally had to call timeout on the fight. Man just found himself a nice comfy spot to kneel down and cry. My man said, timeout! Timeout! Hold on! Fuck! I'm on the search for the most painful punch in anime history, and this is without a doubt the most requested contender. Kamigawa doesn't just make Anderson his bitch, he marks his territory. Kamigawa straight up slapped a logo on this man's anatomy like it was a goddamn Care Bear. Dude hits Anderson so hard, he brands the man. And then he just keeps going. I'm on the search for the most painful punch in anime history, and I keep getting this one suggested, but you know what? Yeah, Krillin goes through a bunch of trees and through a house, but like, what does that even feel like? I don't know what getting embedded into a cliffside feels like, but I can tell you Goku was about 1 second away from strangling Krillin after he got this rock thrown at his head. You ever just bump your head on a cabinet and you're like, oh, mother... And you just want to track down the carpenter that built that cabinet and beat him to death? That is exactly what Goku is going through right here, and it hurts way more than whatever Krillin experienced. I'm on the search for the most painful punch in anime history, and a lot of you have been sending me this one. Look at the dude awakens every simp cell in his body to wiggle on up off the floor. Then he comes in with this expert level no-handed parkour technique before summoning the spirit of Tanjiro and headbutting this douche right in the nose. But you guys didn't send me this for the headbutt. You came for the punch. Dude gets punched in the nose so hard his jaw breaks. On top of that, after he punches him, he just keeps shoving his fist right into his skull. A truly heroic act from the world's wiggliest man. I'm I'm on the search for the most badass moments in anime history, and who remembers when Gohan was just fucking kicking dudes in half? This human artichoke was kicking these jelly bean monsters so hard, they not only split in half, but explode too. Look at this, just one punch tears his head right off. Look at this one, ready? Just fucking pops him right in the sky. Alright, we got another contender for the most painful punch in anime history. Not only does this grown man almost get his entire fist through this teenager, this man doesn't even cough up spit. Dude coughs up his whole ass soul. Got another contender for the most painful hit in anime history, and let me tell you, this is high on the list. If I ever make this face after getting hit, just put me out of my misery. Gohan hit Cell in the stomach so hard, he broke his fucking eyes. Do you know how ridiculous that sounds? Not only that, Cell doesn't just cough up spit. Dude coughs up a whole ass woman. Gohan literally knocked the transformation out of him. Everyone else is standing there like, I didn't even know you could do that. I've been on the search for the most painful punch in anime history, and you know what? I think I found it. This punch is so painful that I'm sure TikTok won't let me show you the actual contact. I will show you the before, and I will show you the after. Sonic's pain is so unyielding, it brings the show to a halt. You know this dude went through all the stages of getting hit down there. First, there's denial, he's like, oh, that actually wasn't so bad. Maybe this is overrated. And he gets that little sting, that little slight burning, and then it's over. You're feeling it in your stomach now. You're wondering if your kidneys are fucked up for some reason. You're like, I'm no doctor, but why is this hurting all of my organs? I'm on the search for the most painful hit in anime history, and unfortunately, a lot of the contenders are gonna involve Vegeta. Right out the gate, as a man in his early 20s who already has bad knees, this bit hurts the most. Look at the way Cooler twists his knee, like Vegeta can't even believe that just happened. And then Cooler comes in and absolutely guarantees Trunks is gonna be an only child. It happens for like a second, but you can see the absolute agony on Vegeta's face the second this hits. Not to mention, that is not the angle a spine should be at. I'm on the search for the most painful punch in anime history, and a lot of you have been suggesting this. I haven't seen this movie, but I really doubt anything in it is gonna make my Christ! It's not even the fact that he hits him there, it's the fact that he grabs his ankle, gives a nice 2-second wind-up, looks him dead in the eye, and then just crushes his— What?! Why would they draw that? Why did they explode? Like, this move just gives off 2008 high school bully vibes, Like, does that make any sense? Like, nobody who does an attack like this doesn't listen to Sum 41. I think I finally found the most painful punch in anime history. Before the hit even connects, this Bob's Burgers character has the absolute fear of God plastered behind his eyes. Then the back of his nose gets real acquainted with the front of his brain, but that's not even the worst part. This punch doesn't just destroy his face, it obliterates his pride. The only way you can convince me that a hit hurts more than this is if the punch literally went back in time to when the opponent was in 7th grade and pantsed him in front of his homecoming date.
I come from the south side where they fill with the liquor. Drink this and let the body flicker. Water drips on your tongue like honey. Everybody in the sundress, and it's sunny out.